I killed my sister on the night of my 18th birthday. Or at least, that's what the world believed, because they made damn sure I was the one left holding the bloody knife, trapped in her skin like a ghost in a stolen suit. It wasn't murder. Not really, it was a swap. A cold-blooded exchange engineered in the shadows of our family's gilded empire, where blood ties meant nothing and power was the only currency that mattered. And as I stared at my reflection that morning, her reflection, all sharp cheekbones and vacant blue eyes, I knew the real crime wasn't the body they shoved me into, it was the life they erased mine for. New York City in 2015 was a beast of concrete and ambition, chewing up dreamers and spitting out husks. Our family, the Harringtons, owned half the skyline from our fortress-like tower in Midtown, a monolithic glass spire that pierced the clouds like a middle finger to the working stiffs below. Daddy, Victor Harrington, the silver-haired shark who'd clawed his way from Queens tenements to Forbes lists, had built it all on real estate deals dirtier than the East River. But the real dirt? That was buried deeper, in the kind of secrets that could topple dynasties. My name was Taylor Harrington, the quiet one, the bookish twin who preferred sketching blueprints in her notebook over schmoozing at galas. Emily was the golden girl, legs for days, a laugh like champagne bubbles, and a Rolodex of senators' sons who'd kill to buy her a drink. We were identical, mirror images down to the freckle on our left collarbone, but worlds apart in every way that counted. Mama died bringing us into the world, hemorrhage, they said, and Daddy never forgave us for it. He poured everything into Emily, grooming her for the boardroom throne, while I got the scraps, community college dreams, and a part-time gig at the family foundation, handing out checks to causes he pretended to care about. That birthday morning started like any other in our penthouse airy, sun streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows, the Hudson glittering like fool's gold. I was in the kitchen, brewing coffee strong enough to wake the dead, humming some indie track from my playlist. Emily burst in, all whirlwind energy, her hair a tousled mess from whatever all-nighter she'd pulled. You won't believe the shit I stepped in last night. She slumped onto a bar stool, nursing a hangover that smelled like top-shelf vodka and regret. I slid her a mug, black as her soul sometimes felt. Try me. Another conquest gone wrong. She laughed, but it was brittle, edged with something sharper. Worse. Remember that merger Daddy's pushing with the Valentinos? The one that's gonna make us kings of the waterfront. I nodded. Everyone in the city knew about Harrington Valentino, the deal that would launder billions through luxury condos while displacing half of Brooklyn. Well, I handled the paperwork, signed off on the environmental waivers. But there's this activist group sniffing around, some eco-warrior bitch named Lena Voss. She cornered me at the club, said she'd blow the whole thing wide open unless I paid her off. My stomach twisted. Emily had always been reckless, but this? Falsifying docs for a deal that would poison aquifers and bury communities under concrete? That's felony territory. Just tell Dad. No. She slammed the mug down, coffee sloshing like blood. He can't know. It'd ruin everything. You're the good one. The one who doesn't fuck up. Help me fix this. I should have walked away. But blood's thicker than water, or so they say. That's when the door to Daddy's study creaked open, and he emerged like a storm cloud in Armani, his eyes locking on us with that predatory gleam. Victor Harrington didn't walk into rooms, he invaded them. Girls, he rumbled, voice like gravel under tires. We need to talk. What followed was a blur of accusations and tears. Emily confessed, sort of spinning it as a youthful indiscretion, But Daddy saw the noose tightening. The Valentinos were old money mob, whispers of witness tampering, and worse clinging to them like smoke. One leak, and not just the deal crumbled, the whole Harrington legacy went up in flames. Lena Voss wasn't some hippie, she was connected. Her group backed by DAs hungry for a scalp. That's when he dropped the bomb. Not a gun, not a threat, but something colder. More American, science for sale. Daddy had been funding a black market neurolab upstate. Enhancements for the elite, memory wipes. Persona tweaks. But their crown jewel? A prototype body swap neural sync, ripped from DARPA whispers and refined in hidden bunkers. It's reversible, he lied, his hand heavy on my shoulder. Just a few hours in Emily's shoes.
Tay.
You'll pose as her at the press conference. Sign the retraction with Voss under the table. She takes the bribe. Scandal dies. Emily stays clean. I laughed, hysterical, disbelieving. Swap bodies? Like some sci-fi bullshit?
Dad.
That's insane. His eyes hardened, the warmth he'd faked for Emily evaporating. Insane is watching my empire burn because my daughters can't keep their legs closed and mouths shut. Do this, Taylor, or I cut you off. No trust fund. No name. You'll be nothing. Emily sobbed, clutching my arm. Please.
Tay.
For me. For us. Betrayal hit like a freight train. My own flesh and blood. Trading my 18th birthday, the day I'd planned to announce my architecture scholarship, escape this toxic cage, for her screw-up. But I nodded. Because Harringtons don't break, we bend until someone else snaps. The procedure happened in a sterile van parked in the penthouse garage. Techs in hazmat suits jabbing IVs and humming machines that sounded like dying stars. Cold flooded my veins. Then fire. And the world inverted. I blinked. And suddenly I was.
Taller?
No. Shorter in spirit. Heavier with her memories bleeding in like ink in water. Emily's body, my body now, felt alien. Curves where mine were straight lines. A faint ache from last night's heels. Across the gurney, in my old skin, Emily grinned weakly. Thanks, sis. You're a lifesaver. The swap was seamless. Horrifyingly so. I stumbled into her walk-in closet, zipping up a sheath dress that hugged like a vice, practicing her flirtatious lilt in the mirror. Taylor's got this, I whispered to her reflection, my reflection. But inside, rage simmered, a dark promise forming. They could borrow my life, but they'd pay in full. The press conference was a circus in the tower's grand atrium. Flashbulbs popping like gunfire. I, Emily, shook hands with Lena Voss, a fierce brunette with eyes like daggers, slipping her the envelope under the table as scripted. Make it go away, I murmured in Emily's honeyed drawl. Voss pocketed it, her smile venomous. For now, Harrington. Back home. The reversal was supposed to happen at midnight. But as the clock struck, alarms blared, Daddy's face pale on the intercom.
Voss is dead.
Overdose.
Cops are coming.
Emily, you were the last one with her. Panic clawed my throat. In Emily's body, with her fingerprints, her DNA, her goddamn lipstick on the envelope. The swap tech glitched under stress. They said later, permanently fused. Daddy's reversible promise? A lie to seal my tomb. He whisked me, Emily and my body, to a safe house, erasing traces, while I, trapped as Emily, was arrested on the spot. The fall guy for murder pinned on a bribe gone lethal. They buried the truth deeper than Voss's body. Daddy's lawyer spun it. Tragic accident. Grieving twin takes the heat out of loyalty. Emily, in my skin, got a tearful CNN interview. The prodigal daughter reformed. I got orange jumpsuits and whispers of crazy Harrington bitch. But in the dim cells of Rikers, staring at hands that weren't mine, I vowed I'd claw back every stolen breath. They took my birthday, my face, my freedom. I'd take their world. Rikers Island wasn't hell, it was the antechamber. A concrete purgatory where time stretched like taffy and hope curdled into spite. 6 months in Gen Pop. Then solitary when I mouthed off to a guard about Harrington justice. They called me Emily the Ice Queen. But inside, Taylor plotted blueprints not of buildings, but of ruin. Emily's body was a gift in disguise, her socialite poise disarmed screws. Her trust fund echoes bought smuggled law books and a burner phone hidden in my mattress. First call was to a ghost from my old life, Marcus Hale. The architecture prof who'd seen potential in my sketches when Daddy saw only dead weight. Taylor? Jesus. The news said. I cut him off. Voice low and laced with Emily's silk. It's me. Swapped. Locked up for her mess. I need out. Silence. Then a chuckle. Dark. Conspiratorial. Knew something smelled off about that sob story. Hold tight.
Kid.
I've got strings. Marcus wasn't family, he was better, a tenured radical with ties to the underbelly. The kind of prof who lectured on gentrification while squatting in foreclosed lofts. He pulled favors, pro bono attorneys, planted doubts about the suicide. Voss's talks screen showed roofies. Not just coke, someone dosed her post-bribe. Daddy's cleaner. No doubt. But the case cracked on a technicality, chain of custody on the envelope botched. I walked after 14 months. A free woman in a dead girl's skin. Out on the street. Manhattan hit like a slap. Horns blaring. Steam rising from grates. The air thick with hot dog grease and desperation. No wallet. No ID. Emily's accounts frozen by Daddy's decree. I hitched to Marcus's Brooklyn brownstone. A sagging Victorian crammed with blueprints and radical zines. He opened the door. Graying beard and eyes sharp as drafting pencils. You look like hell warmed over. Harrington. Feel like it too. We hugged. Awkward. The first human touch in over a year. Inside. Over lukewarm beer. I spilled it all, the swap. The frame. The betrayal that tasted like bile. Marcus listened. Then slid a folder across the scarred oak table. Your way out. Or in. Depending on how you play it. It was a job. Ghost architect for a rogue developer in the shadows of the High Line. Designing off-books conversions. Warehouses to crash pads for the displaced. Funded by crypto weirdos dodging taxes. No questions. Cash under the table. Use her face, Marcus said, nodding at my Emily's cheekbones. It's your armor now. Build slow. Build smart. And build toward them. I did. Nights blurred into fever dreams of CAD software and cold pizza. Days haggling with contractors who eyed Emily's curves like bonuses. The work hardened me, literally. Calluses on hands that once typed manifestos. I learned the city's veins, zoning loopholes, backroom bribes, the quiet violence of eminent domain. Emily's body adapted, striding in steel-toed boots through derelict sites. Her laugh, now a weapon to charm permits from bureaucrats. 2 years ground by. A montage of grit and grind. I saved every dime, funneling it into a shell LLC, Swift designs, a nod to the bird that devours its young. Marcus mentored, slipping me intel on Harrington Holdings, Daddy's empire creaking under debt. Emily in my skin, flailing as the reformed heir, botching deals with her party girl hangovers. The swap had glitches. She'd complain in interviews of phantom pains, my old scoliosis flaring in her spine. Poetic, I thought, sketching her downfall in the margins. My first big score was a derelict Chelsea warehouse, flipped into microlofts for artists priced out by Daddy's condos. Sold for 7 figures. All crypto. Untraceable. I bought my first suit, not Emily's designer rags, but tailored wool that screamed quiet power. Mirrors became allies again. I practiced Taylor's steady gaze over Emily's fluttering lashes. You're not her, I'd whisper. You're more. By year 3, Swift was buzzing. Whispers in developer bars. Profiles in niche rags calling me the phantom fixer. I dodged the spotlight, but Emily's face drew it like moths. One night, at a hush-hush gala for urban renewal, irony thick as fog, I locked eyes across the room with him, Victor Harrington. Older, wearier, nursing scotch like an old wound. He didn't recognize me at first. Why would he? I was his dead daughter, resurrected as a rival. Taylor. His voice cracked over the din, glass trembling in his grip. Up close, the Emperor looked mortal, crow's feet etched by scandals, a paunch straining his vest. What the how? I smiled, Emily's crimson lips curving like a scythe. Call me Swift now.
Dad.
Or should I say, Emily? The name hung, a guillotine blade. His face drained, eyes darting for exits. Impossible. The procedure failed.
Permanently.
I leaned in, breath ghosting his ear. You stole my life to save hers. Now watch me build mine on your bones. He stammered excuses, love, legacy, the family name, but I walked away, heels clicking like countdowns. That night, in a Fleabag motel off Times Square, I cried for the girl I was, then plotted the girl I'd become. Betrayal's a slow poison, but revenge? That's the antidote. Bitter and burning. Word spread. Developers courted me. Rivals feared me. I poached Harrington talent, mid-level execs disillusioned by Emily's tantrums, offering equity in Swift. Daddy countersued, claiming IP theft. But my lawyers, Marcus's network, battle-hardened, shredded it. Controversial? Hell yes, I undercut bids with creative accounting, gray area deals that skirted ethics but crushed competitors. Whispers called me ruthless. A Harrington ghost haunting the skyline. Good. Let them talk. Then came the hook, a tip from a mole inside the tower. Emily was spiraling pills, affairs, a leaked sex tape with a Valentino air that nearly tanked the merger. Daddy was desperate, floating junk bonds to stay afloat. My penthouse play? A hostile takeover bid for their flagship property, the very tower where it started, my stolen birthday etched in its steel bones. I amassed shares quietly, through proxies and shell core, the war chest swelling to 8 figures. Nights, I'd stand on fire escapes, city lights mocking me, Emily's hands sketching the endgame. One decision haunted, a whistleblower from the Neuro Lab, offering proof of the swap tech. Expose it, and Daddy's empire and Emily's fragile sanity crumbled. But it meant dragging innocents down, techs who'd just followed orders. I burned the drive instead. Mercy?
No.
Calculation. Let them rot in their own lies. By dawn of year 4, I owned 51% of Harrington Tower. The closing was in a boardroom reeking of stale cigars. Daddy across the table. Emily at his side in my old body. Aged poorly. Eyes hollow. "You bitch," she hissed. Voice cracking with my timbre. "This is ours." I corrected, signing with a flourish. "Now it's mine." "Happy belated birthday, sis." As they slunk out, tails between legs, I ascended to the penthouse, $10 million in renovations pending. But the view? Priceless. Vengeance tasted like victory. But underneath, a worm of doubt. Was I saving myself? Or becoming them? Owning the penthouse felt like reclaiming a battlefield. Every marble tile a scar from the war that birthed me. I moved in on a stormy July evening. Thunder rumbling like Daddy's impotent rage. Boxes of my sparse life, sketch pads, black coffee maker. A single photo of us as kids. Unburned, stacked like ammunition. The doorman, a grizzled vet named Sal who'd nodded at my Emily visits years back, tipped his cap without a flicker. "Welcome home, Amos."
Swift.
About time. Home. The word stuck like grit in my throat. I fired the old staff first, loyalists who'd served mimosas while I rotted, replacing them with my crew, ex-cons turned handymen, artists for the walls. The master suite became my war room, walls papered in Harrington financials, red strings connecting dots of deceit. Emily's old closet, gutted for a hidden safe, stocked with the mole's unburned evidence, just in case. Sleep was a luxury I rationed. Nightmares looped the swap, sterile lights. Daddy's voice droning for the family, Emily's grin as she slipped into my skin like a thief in silk. I'd wake sweating, her perfume clinging to sheets that smelled of money. Mornings, I'd run the High Line, pounding pavement where Voss once protested, plotting the next strike. Swift Designs boomed, but it was a Trojan horse, funneling profits into shorts against Harrington stock. Controversial? I lobbied City Hall for affordable units in their flops, displacing tenants with sweetheart deals, ethical quicksand, but it starved their cash flow. Daddy's countermoves were predictable, smear campaigns in the Post, painting me as the vindictive twin puppeteering from the grave. Emily did the talk shows. My old face twisted in victimhood. My sister's back, but she's not herself.
It's
unnatural. Viewers ate it up. America loves a family feud, especially when it's laced with conspiracy porn. Hashtags trended. Harrington haunt. Body snatchersis. I leaned in. Anonymous leaks fueling the fire. Lab docs hinting at experimental therapies. Voss's autopsy whispers. But power's a jealous lover. And mine came with suitors. First was Jax Rivera, a Valentino scion, tall, tattooed, with eyes like polished obsidian and a rap sheet longer than his trust fund. He cornered me at a rooftop mixer, cigar smoke curling between us. "Heard you gutted Vic like a fish." Respect. His grin was wolfish. Hand brushing mine electric. Dangerous. Valentinos don't forget favors. Or debts. I played coy. Emily's flirt dialed to lethal. "And what debt are we settling?" Jax. Turns out, Daddy had stiffed them on the merger kickbacks post-Voss, using my death as cover. Jax wanted in on Swift, a partnership to launder their dirty developments through my clean facade. Tempting his muscle for my mind, billions in play. But trust a mobbed-up pretty boy? I'd sooner bet a cobra. We danced that tango for months, dinners at hidden speakeasies. his hand on my knee under linen tables. Whispers of empires merged. He knew fragments of the swap, overheard Daddy's rants, and it thrilled him. The taboo edge. Your phoenix, Taylor. Burned and reborn hotter. In his Tribeca loft. Amid leather and lowlights. We blurred lines, bodies tingling. His fingers tracing the freckle that marked me as. Who?
Me.
Or her. Sex was release. Raw and reclaiming. But dawn brought clarity. He was a tool. Not a partner. The real storm brewed family side. A summons arrived via courier, Daddy's scrawl on cream vellum. Dinner. The tower. Come alone. I went. Armored in Chanel and contempt. The dining room a tomb of crystal and candlelight. Emily sat ramrod. My old scoliosis hunch pronounced. Pills rattling in her pocket. Daddy poured Bordeaux. Vintage 95, year of our birth. To reconciliation, he toasted, eyes gleaming with shark hunger. Bullshit. Midway through foie gras, he slid a dossier, photos of my off-books deals, IRS flags on Swift's books. You're playing with fire.
Daughter.
One call. And it's all ash. Emily chimed in. Voice my echo. We can fix this.
Tay. Swap back.
The lab's got a new prototype. Lies. Sweet as strychnine. The twist hit then. Daddy's confession. Slurred with wine. The swap wasn't just for Voss. Deeper sin, Mama's death?
No gemerí.
Daddy's affair. A clinic botch-up abortion gone wrong. Pinning it on complications to bury the mistress. Emily knew. Covered for him since 16, blackmail fodder. My loyalty frame?
To shield her complicity.
Make me the Patsy twin who snapped. Rage boiled. Black and volcanic. I laughed, manic. Unhinged, shattering the glass in my fist. Blood welled. Emily's blood. Dripping like accusations. You monsters. You swapped me to bury your rot. I stormed out. But not before pocketing a USB from Daddy's briefcase. Insurance. Merger files laced with fraud. Jax waited in the lobby. His limo idling like a panther. Rough family reunion? I slid in. Bloodied hand on his thigh. Drive. We ended up at his place. Fury transmuting to frenzy, clothes shredded, bodies warring in the dark. After, tangled in sheets, he murmured, "You're in too deep.
Amor.
Valentino's can pull you out." I traced his jaw. Decision crystallizing. Use him. Leak the USB to feds anonymously. Let the merger implode. Controversial? Destroying lives, mine included, as blowback scorched Swift. But betrayal begets betrayal. The leak hit like a nuke. Headlines screamed Harrington Valentino cartel, arrests rippling through boardrooms. Daddy holed up in the Hamptons. Emily checked into rehab, my face on TMZ. Gaunt and ghostly. Jax pulled strings, shielding Swift, but demanded his cut, equity.
And me.
I gave the shares, not the heart. Power's price, solitude in victory. Yet doubt gnawed. In the penthouse mirror, Emily's eyes stared back. Were they hardening into mine? Or his? Marcus called. Voice grave. You're winning.
Kid.
But at what cost? Cost? A city scarred. A family fractured. A soul splintered. I hung up, staring at the skyline, my skyline now. The real revenge wasn't owning the tower, it was making them beg to live in its shadow. As fall leaves bled red on the streets below, I greenlit the Reno. eco-features mocking daddy's poisons, lofts for the displaced. But one room stayed sealed, the study where the swap then idled. Inside, ghosts whispered, was I avenger or monster? The line blurred, and I stepped over it, heels clicking toward the balcony. Winter clamped New York in iron jaws, snow muffling the screams of a city convulsing under scandal. Harrington Holdings teetered, stock plunging like a junkie's vein, daddy's face on every feed, disheveled, denying allegations with the fervor of a televangelist. Emily emerged from rehab a media darling, my old body slimmed to fragility, peddling memoirs of sisterly sacrifice. Buyers lapped it up, twins of tragedy, ghost-ridden tripe that painted me the villain, jealous, unhinged, stealing her life post-swap. I read excerpts in a dive bar off Wall Street, laughing into my whiskey sour until tears came. Irony. She lived my truth, sold it for royalties. Swift thrived in the chaos, poaching Harrington clients fleeing the sinking ship. I expanded Harlem brownstones to Jersey waterfronts, each project a middle finger to daddy's sprawl. Jax became fixture, board meetings in his bed, strategies sketched on napkins stained with espresso and desire. He pushed for permanence, a ring, whispered in post-coital haze, but I deflected, Emily's charm a shield. Business first.
Amor.
Truth. Trust was a luxury I'd bankrupted. Controversy crested with the swift squat, my bull display. I seized a Valentino-held tenement in the Bronx, evicting junkies for urban pioneers, artists, activists, coded to include Voss's old crew. Protests erupted, ironic pickets accusing me of gentrification, while daddy's proxies sued for interference. Courtroom drama unfolded in a federal pit in Foley Square. Me in witness box. Emily's poise cracking under cross-exam. Opposing counsel. A slick Valentino shill. Hammered. MS. Swift, or should I say Harrington, your rise smells of vendetta. Body swaps? Mob ties? This is personal. I leaned into the mic. Voice steady as rebar. Personal? Try survival. My family built on bones, Voss's.
Mine.
I'm just finishing the foundation. The jury hung. But headlines crown me. Revenge architect or savior? Debate forums lit up, Reddit threads dissecting the ethics. TikToks memeing my glow-up. America debated over brunch. Was I hero? Hauling skeletons from closets? Or hyena? Feasting on kin? Daddy struck back subterranean. Blackmail arrived via dead drop in Central Park. Grainy footage from the Neurolab. Me post-swap. Ranting in a cell about killing Emily. Doctored. But convincing, voice deep-faked with my inflections. The ask, cede the tower back. Or it leaks. Painting me murderer redux. I met the courier, a jittery ex-lab tech, in a shadowed diner. Snow swirling outside like confetti from hell. Your Vic's dog, I said, sliding him coffee. He flinched, eyes darting. He pays better than ghosts. Ghosts pay in truth. I palmed him a drive, Fed's copy of the merger fraud. Voss's real killer ID'd, Daddy's bodyguard. On tape spiking her drink. Leak this instead. Walk free. He bolted. And the counterstrike landed. Anonymous drop to 60 minutes. Harrington's imploding live on air. Daddy arrested mid-interview. Cuffs glinting under studio lights. Emily fled to Europe. My face fleeing paparazzi, like a bad dream. Elation crashed like waves. But Jax's celebration soured it. In the penthouse, champagne flutes clinking, he proposed, on one knee, ring winking like a promise. Marry me, Taylor. We rule this city. His eyes held hunger, not just for me, but the empire I'd forged. I saw it then. The swap's echo. Him slipping into my orbit like Emily into my skin. Betrayal's scent. Musky and familiar.
I said yes.
Lips curving. But mind racing. Wedding plans blurred months, Vegas success. A-listers toasting our rags to riches myth. Marcus warned over burner. He's playing you.
Kid.
Valentinos eat their own. I nodded, but dove deeper, wiring swift assets to untouchable trusts. The ceremony was a spectacle, me in ivory lace. Jax's vows dripping possession. Vows exchanged. Rings sealed. We consummated in a suite overlooking the strip, fireworks bursting like veins. Honeymoon in Tuscany was idol-laced with arsenic. Jax's guards shadowed. For protection, but I caught whispers. Plans to fold swift into Valentino ops. My designs laundering hits. Back in NYC. The mask slipped. Board meeting. He cornered me post-adjournment. Sign the merger. Taylor. Or that lab tape surfaces. Your murder rap reloaded. There it was, the deep betrayal. Mirroring Daddy's blade. Jax hadn't loved, he'd invested. Waiting for the yield. Rage. Long banked. Erupted. I laughed. Low and lethal. You think you own me? Like they did. I hit send on my phone, leaks to DOJ. Jax's ledgers exposed. Our union, the front for Rico bait. He lunged. Face twisting, first real emotion. You bitch. After everything. Guards burst in, but mine, loyal from the squats, were faster. Takedown swift. Zip ties biting. Everything? You use me like a proxy wife. I leaned close. Emily's breath on his ear. Consider the swap permanent. Feds swarmed at dawn. Jax in cuffs. Empire crumbling. I watched from the penthouse. Coffee steaming. Snow melting into spring thaw. Victory. Pyrrhic and pure. But the worm turned. Emily returned, unannounced, pounding the door in a monsoon. My old body, drenched and diminished. Eyes pleading.
They. Please.
It's breaking me, your pains, your memories.
Swap back. I
did it for love. For him. Twist uncoiled. Her tears genuine. Confession spilling. The swap? Her idea. Whispered to Daddy after Mama's secret unearthed. Not his affair. But Emily's. A teen pregnancy. Botched clinic visit killing Mama in the cover-up. I'd borne the good twin. Burden unknowingly. Her guilt festering. I stole your life to escape mine, she sobbed. But it's poison. Take it back. Truth reversed. Not just Patsy, but proxy for her original sin. I held her us. As rain lashed windows. Decisions fracturing. Expose her. End the cycle? Or mercy? Let the ghost linger? Controversial calculus. Forgiveness as weakness. Or strength. I chose the gray. Funded her treatment. A real lab reversal. Risky. Black market still. As surgeons prepped, I whispered, this doesn't absolve. But it's a start. Blades hummed. Worlds inverting once more. The reversal ripped through me like a storm surge. Nerves firing in reverse. Emily's lithe frame dissolving into memory. My own awkward angles snapping back like rubber bands. I woke in recovery. Marcus at bedside. His grip iron on mine. Welcome home. Taylor. For real this time. The mirror confirmed, freckles shifted.
Scoliosis H. blooming familiar.
Emily. Across the ward in my old skin, now hers again, stirred groggy. Eyes meeting mine with haunted relief.
It's
Over? Not yet. Daddy rotted in MCC. Trial looming like a guillotine. Valentino's scattering like roaches. Jax's empire? Fed confetti. Swift stood unscathed. My designs reshaping skylines, sustainable spires mocking the old guard. But freedom tasted bittersweet, laced with voids, trust shattered. Family a husk. Emily and I navigated the wreckage in uneasy truce. She crashed to the penthouse, her old domain. Now mine by deed, nights spent on the balcony. Bourbon thawing silences. I thought power would fix me, she admitted one dawn. City awakening below. But it just echoed. Her confessions piled. Teen desperation. Daddy's enabling. The swap as desperate Hail Mary. I'd borne her sins unknowingly. The mistake of Mama's death my inherited shroud. Forgiveness? I offered armistice. Not absolution, joint therapy. Mandated by my lawyers to quash suits. Controversy dogged us. Tabloids dubbed it the twin reckoning. Ethicists decrying the swap text Pandora box. Protests swelled outside the tower. Activists demanding lab raids. Victims of enhancements gone wrong chanting my name as reluctant saint. I testified before Congress. Emily at my side. Voices weaving a cautionary tapestry. Power corrupts bodies before souls. Bills drafted. But loopholes lingered. American ingenuity. Ever adaptive. My life rebuilt in layers. Swift went public. IPO minting me billionaire whispers. But I pivoted. Foundations for displaced families. Scholarships for forgotten architects. Marcus retired to a vineyard cottage, toasting my keynote at AIA, from ashes, skylines. Jax wrote from Leavenworth, love letters turn please. Then silence. I burned them, ashes scattering like old skins. Daddy's trial was spectacle, federal courtroom a coliseum. Me the star witness. He glared from the dock, emaciated in orange. His little girls turned avengers. You destroyed us, he rasped in recess. Chains rattling. I met his eyes. Taylor's gaze unyielding.
No, Dad.
You did. We just corrected. Verdict. Guilty. 30 plus. Appeals futile. Emily wept in the gallery. Grief. Or guilt. We didn't speak of it. Climax crested that summer solstice. Tower relaunch gala of Phoenix rising. A-listers swirled. But the real guests, Voss's kin. Squatters turned tenants. My crew in tailored gratitude. Emily spoke first, poised. Her own again, thanking the sister who saved me from myself. Applause thundered. But my toast cut deeper. We build not on stolen ground, but shared ruins. To truths unearthed, and lives reclaimed flawed, but ours. As fireworks bloomed over the Hudson, Emily pulled me aside, envelope in hand, deed to a queen's loft. Her fresh start. Go.
Tay.
Or stay. Your call. Decision hung, sever ties. Let her fade, or bind. Risk the cycle? Controversial heart. Family as chain or anchor. I tore it, handing back halves. We rebuild together. Messy, but real. She hugged me. First untainted embrace, bodies aligned, selves restored.
Ending? Nota y dibao.
Daddy died in custody. Natural causes. Whispers of foul play fueling podcasts. Emily founded a clinic. anti-enhancement crusader. Her book swapped secrets, a bestseller sparking debates, redemption or opportunism. Swift towers greenlit nationwide. But lawsuits linger. Ethical minefields I navigate gray. Jax's ghost lingers in dreams. A reminder. Vengeance devours if unchecked.
Me?
I stand on that balcony often. Wind whipping hair that's mine. City pulsing below. They stole my 18th, innocence, identity, but birthed a force. Unyielding. Unafraid. Happy? In fractures. Tragic? In the scars. Debatable? Eternally. Life's no fairy tale. It's architecture. Blueprints redrawn. Foundations cracked but standing. And in America's unforgiving gleam, that's victory enough. Was it worth the blood, mine? There's the cities? Ask the skyline. It answers in steel and shadow.